somebody says, "Hey hero," he says, "Hero की ये कमजोरी कि उसके लिए हीरोगिरी जरूरी है। मैं हूँ इस कहानी का villain."
It's just one of those films that's going to leave you wanting so much more. And I just feel like if you like the first film, I never say this, but I swear, like, if you like the first part, you're going to find this as much, if not more, and I think more exciting, more amazing. Just the first part times 1000, I'm telling you.
हाय, मैं हूँ अर्जुन कपूर यानी कि विलेन।
हाय, मैं हूँ तारा सुतारिया
और आप देख रहे हैं पीपिंग मून।
Hi guys, this is Ankita. You're tuned into PeepingMoon.com, and today I am going to decide who is the bigger villain. Is it Arjun or is it Tara? But welcome to Peeping Moon.
Thank you
so much.
Arjun, I'll begin it with you.
Okay.
Aurangzeb was the last, or maybe I should say the film for you where I saw this proper negative shades from your character. One of the two which you were playing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess that's the closest I've come to playing the darkest shade of grey, if you can call it
Yeah,
that.
but what would you call this character? Gotham, if I'm not wrong. That's
Yeah,
your name in
Gautam
the film.
Mehra. Gautam
In
Mehra.
एक villain.
Yeah, I think more than explaining it, I think the best way to explain it is इसे मरना चलेगा हारना नहीं. जब एक आदमी वैसे सोचता है, if he thinks like that, you can imagine to what extent this guy will go. He's very extreme to get what he wants. He doesn't want to be liked by people. He doesn't care what people feel about him. There's a very interesting line that my introduction scene has. Somebody says, "Hey hero," he says, "Hero की ये कमजोरी कि उसके लिए हीरोगिरी जरूरी है। मैं हूँ इस कहानी का villain." He wants to be known as somebody who's disruptive, who's destructive, who actually is somebody who is a villain. But obviously there is a reason why he's like that, and that is where there is a vulnerability to the character also. Aurangzeb came from a very different place of perhaps the double role having two different sides. I think this, you can see two sides to Gautam at some point in the film, and you'll understand why he is the way he is. Within one character, maybe two people exist, but it's very, very different in that sense. It's not the same. But yeah, I guess after Aurangzeb, this is the first time I'm doing something in that space.
Tara, you are also on a streak of sorts. After Tara, is RV, your character in Ek Villain, another extension to the villainous side of yours? Or what is this, you picking up all the shades of grey suddenly?
I would think so. So I keep saying this. My sun sign is a Scorpio, and everyone knows that Scorpios are very intense, very passionate, very dark, very deep people. So I think it's just fun to get to use that very large part of me in this film. It was fun as well. Like, I feel like not a lot of us have had the opportunity, or I mean, things are changing, to be honest, in the industry, but I think it's wonderful to get the opportunity to portray someone who has bad qualities. All of us do. I just think we haven't probably attempted it in a lot of our films before, and I think it's that much more exciting to be at the beginning of this change in our cinema. I think it's just fun to be able to do that. I've just done 4 films before this, and this is my 5th. And I did one, like you just said, I did Tarab, which was a very negative character. I mean, it doesn't really get darker than that. You have to hate her, and that's kind of why I wanted to do the film, because it's very dull and boring to always play the typical girl in a Hindi movie. So this is just very different to that, and I resonate very deeply with a lot of the shades to a lot of our characters, not just mine, and I think all of us as human beings do. So I think even the audiences that come in to watch the film will resonate with the grey shades, if you want to call them that all of our characters have.
Arjun, when we normally talk about the negative characters, we often say that we are tapping some deep, dark side inside us as human beings. And actors always say that it leaves an impact on them and they end up taking something of it home. आपके character के साथ कुछ ऐसा था that you really had to take something home, or you left for something?
In this film, I would say, see, he's brash. It's not like it's so deep rooted in the sense that he's inherently bad, in the sense he wants to be bad. So it's a very different thing when somebody wants to be hated, somebody wants to do things, people despise him. अगर आप जानबूझ के you want to be a certain way because you want to prove a point, it's not as internal as it is external. So the internal is very different for a Gautam than him actually being that. But now, in some way, yeah, obviously you enjoy playing bad in this mainstream sense because you can have fun with it. There is some color and range that you can show that perhaps आप हीरो होगे तो आप कुछ चॉइसेस नहीं करोगे ऐसी पिक्चर में, यहाँ पे मजेदार चीज है कि आपकी choices justified है from the fact that your character brings that color. But it's not such a heavy film that you need to go so deep into believing that you are bad. Bad exists in you and me.
Exactly.
मैं अभी आपके साथ इंटरव्यू कर रहा हूँ, मैंने जाके उधर तो उनके लिए मैं विलन बन चुका हूँ, लेकिन मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता इस वक्त क्योंकि मुझे अपना काम करना है, राइट?
Exactly.
सो व्हेन आई एम डूइंग समथिंग इन दिस मोमेंट, उनकी आंखों पर मुझे इस वक्त फर्क नहीं पड़ता, तो मैं गौतम ही हूँ. That's just a shade. Now I'll go back and apologize. That is Arjun. That I had to make sure that everybody keeps quiet so I can do the interview. But that is Arjun. Gautam will not. So that is the difference. As an actor, you need to know that there is a shade of you that exists from that character that you can use. You will apologize. He's unapologetic. तो ऐसा नहीं कि घर लेके जाके I needed to live with it and all. This film is more about the romance. It's more about what happens when you fall in love. It's about things you do when there are choices that a character makes out of love. It's not so much about an internal angst that he's coming from. It's more to do with the situation and circumstances that drive you and push you and what you create as circumstances. So it's a little different. Like say a film like Lady Killer that I'm doing, there's a more internal angst. Here the angst is more created to make sure I want him to know. So I will do something to prove a point. It versus I'm feeling it and you sense it. So it's a different kind of performance, if that makes sense.
It does. Tara, but in your case, how you will evaluate your performance? Because as we just spoke, you are coming back to back from the shades of grey. I will not call it negative anymore. The shades of grey. Do you also end up taking something home from your characters each time?
No, I don't know if there's anything about taking it home, but like I said, I think there's a huge part of me that is naturally very introspective and deep and dark. To be honest with you, I don't know whether that's really got to do with my sun sign or not. That's just an excuse. I would like to think that it's got to do with the sun sign.
Basically, Tara's saying that being a Scorpion allows her to do villain very easily.
You can say that
every
I'm a
answer has
Scorpion,
involved
so it's
being a
fine.
Scorpion very, very conveniently.
So you can use it very conveniently as an excuse, but we're all essentially villains at some point. If you want to call yourself a villain, you want to say it's a dark, a grey shade or whatever you want to call it. It's essentially the same thing. All of us have it. I acknowledge it about myself. I'm very honest and open about that about myself. So I don't think I take it home. I think I'm just naturally, you have on days and off days, and on the off days you can have those shades. So that's something that I just live with.
Arjun, your physical transformation has been the talk of the town, at least when it comes to the Ek villain. But the best part for me would be locking horns with John Abraham.
Yes.
I mean, come on, it's like two good-looking hunks on the screen just fighting for two women. I am not going to put it that because I don't know हो क्या रहा है. तो मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ कि process.
Just the fact that you can say that statement is a big tick mark in the intent to do this film. The fact that I can stand up to John Abraham, who already has this image. And to some degree, I did action in my early films, but I've not done it for a while. And जब आप stunt team के साथ करते हो, there's a certain way you can come across. But when you have to stand with a fellow actor for that matter, you have to come across even. Because over there, you know, the fighters, the stunt team, they protect you and they make sure you look great because of the way they react also sometimes. आप शायद उतने अच्छे नहीं हो एक्शन करते हो, लेकिन आप दिख जाते हो because एक posturing मिलती है. यहाँ पे आपको बराबर की टक्कर देनी पड़ती है. Even just when you're standing and staring, you need to look the part.
Yeah.
Because you are now directly going to be compared. And it has to feel like हमें नहीं पता कौन जीतेगा. And that's the point of that conflict, that you shouldn't know. And if the trailer has succeeded in making you believe it's a battle of two adversaries who are equal, regardless of his personality and his persona and my personality and persona before this, I think the transformation, the physical transformation works only because you are able to feel like this. It's not only about having abs, it's about what you can do with clothes on also.
Exactly.
It's when you're wearing that, say, leather jacket in a train and you're running towards John Abraham, it should still look like he doesn't need to bat an eyelid before going for John Abraham. And if I can achieve that at a trailer level, I'm very, very happy about it. It comes a lot from believing again in myself and pushing myself to stand up. If I can stand up in front of John Abraham and you can feel that way, I think I'm on the right path to making sure that the audience gives me that love and respect again for the work that I'm doing.
Tara, you have sung again in the film, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so this is actually my first time singing for myself and for a film in general as well. And it's always been, I've said this in so many interviews, it's been a dream of mine to be able to sing for myself because I've always been a singer all my life and I've very recently forayed into acting. So for me, this is like beyond a dream come true. And I love all of Mohit's music. So to be able to bring that to life on screen and to sing for myself, it just feels like a very surreal feeling. I play a singer in the film, so it's also that much more fun to be able to perform your own songs, and they look live in the film, concert style. Shamat is a song that is very close to my heart. We actually got to know each other while we were filming that song in Goa. It's where I first met Arjun, and where we just started bonding literally while we were shooting that song. So it's very special to me.
Can then I ask you this question? What is this Ami and Timmy Masi going on in your captions?
It's really
please?
tracking.
If you
I
guys
told
are like
you've
really
created a
bonding.
monster.
Tracking.
Told you you've created a monster.
Now you need to
Deal
tell
with
me
it.
who's this Ami and
You know
Timmy
how, like,
Masi?
I'm sure you have a friend like this. Everybody has somebody that they can talk to. And
You have a friend called Ami or Timmy?
Not called like that. Will you just let me speak? Where you can just be yourself and you can just talk. And sometimes it's rubbish, sometimes it's gossipy, sometimes it's just fun stuff, and you can just have a good time with your friend, right? We call this the Ami and Timmy Masi syndrome. We have a WhatsApp group basically with another friend of ours. I'm Timmy Masi for all of you that would like to know.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't
This
put that
is-
together, that T for Tara and
this
A
is
for Arjun
Ami.
and A and T.
And we have another friend
But-
on this group.
Regardless, we should invite Pammi now.
Pammi also
From
is there.
Coffee
It's
with
Pammi,
Karan now.
Ami, Timmy, by the way.
Coffee and Pammi, of course.
But now that's taken. So now we're just Ami and Timmy.
Yeah.
And we talk about many things. We send each other very funny, hysterical things, and we cannot mention that on the show.
So it's just a way of staying in touch, which then became a joke between us because we actually became like
Ami and Timmy.
no, like how do you explain? Like it was that we became like it's like when you don't need to complete each other's statement. Also,
You
the other
can
person
just-
gets
yeah.
it. So we kind of hit it off during the first outdoor, and then we had the second lockdown at that point of time, which was last year.
Last year.
So we had just started the film in April, and May was a lockdown last year. So we
Arjun
were
was
kind
really
of
missing my
yeah,
company,
we were
basically,
kind
and
of
so
just
this
about
was
getting along.
created.
So I said, "Yeah, chalo, let me give Tara the insight of knowing who I really am."
I'm really flattered, humbled, grateful,
अब उसके
blessed.
बाद आप तो जानते हो कि
Fan.
Bless
कितना
his history.
मतलब कितने इतने सैकड़ों हैं, अब ये भी एक ज्वाइन हो गई।
Fan club, yeah.
ठीक है, मैंने बोला ठीक है, 5-7 और ग्रुप से उसने एक और बना दिया। मैंने बोला बट शी डजंट नो व्हाट द 5-7 अदर ग्रुप। मैं आज पहली बार वोट
Oh, jealous, so jealous.
वो अलग बात है कि उन सारी ग्रुप्स में मैं अकेला हूँ लेकिन ग्रुप्स तो अलग रखे मैंने।
But to both of you, the first Ek Villain was a thumping success
Yeah.
at the box office. The music, everything about the film worked. Now, as we speak, the trailer has got such great reviews. Music people are loving.
Yeah.
Dil is a beautiful track which is catching on with everyone. Stupid question, maybe, but are you nervous because this is a big this is
So I would have been nervous before the reaction of the trailer, which I was. I think we had every right to be because we had worked bloody hard on the film, and it's coming at a sensitive time for the film industry and
Yep.
just how films are being
Yeah.
perceived, and we are learning in this new phase what's working, what's not. But just the reaction to the trailer and then the songs. I mean, today before we started the interview, your colleague has turned around and said half the battle is won with the trailer and the songs, and that's very rare to hear that before you do interviews with the media interactions. With the even normal friend reactions, the intrigue the trailer has created. People want answers. People want to know, "Arey, bata na villain kaun hai?
I was
What
going
is
to
the
ask her
twist?"
in the end only.
Exactly. So the fact that a trailer and 2 songs have been able to create curiosity in favor of you going to the theater to watching the film. There is nervous energy, yes, but there is a positive nervous energy. Now I would like the people who are excited to go see it that they enjoy the film more than they've even imagined. Because I feel somewhere the trailer came as a surprise. Ek Villain was more designed as a revenge film. This film is a full throttle thriller in the sense you don't know who's doing what. At any given point, you can't trust the characters completely. So I'm nervous, of course, because it is an important film. But I'm nervous in a more positive sense than a negative sense.
Tara, before I move to something fun, can you tell me like thoda sa who's the villain? Thoda.
You know, I would so love to tell you, but I'll be very honest with you. I watched the film very recently. I myself, despite being in the film, was just like, now I know. And then I was like, oh, no, it's definitely not. And then I was like, why do I not? How can I not figure this out? I am in that shot. But it's just one of those films that's
Wow.
going to leave you wanting so much more. And I just feel like if you like the first film, I never say this, but I swear, like, if you like the first part, you're going to find this as much, if not more, and I think more exciting, more amazing, just the first part times 1000. I'm telling you.
I think it's relatable to this generation versus 8 years back. There was a different world we were in today, post 2019, when the world has changed in the last couple of years. I think there is a different audience that has come.
And it's also giving the audience what they want.
Yeah.
Like, it's giving you every single thing we're craving to see as an audience. I feel.
Mainstream bhi hai, lekin I feel it's very relatable to the modern youth right now, that is this social media generation. So the film has that instant success, instant command for I want to be the best, I want to be seen, to be famous. You know, that world exists in villain. You know, so you will be able to sense कि हाँ मैं किसी को जानता हूँ जो इस
Who's like that,
ऐसे कर सकता है या कर सकती है.
Was there any iconic villain character or any representation anywhere which were in your minds when you were doing your part? Anything to model your look on, or maybe your dialect on? कुछ भी कभी दिमाग में था, you just created Arvi and Gotham as by ourselves?
I think Mohit Suri created Gotham. I just played it. He was so clear about the tattoos, about the long hair, about the way I should dress and the way the body language should be, the bike, the attitude. I didn't really. His references are very strong in his own head and what he finds. So I think as actors, he makes your life very easy about you don't have to go searching and seeking. You just have to meet him and follow his vision. And that's very important because I think mainstream cinema is about conviction. You need to ride the conviction of a director when he's so clear. You don't need to come and offset it by saying, but मैंने उस type का character देखा है, मुझे लगता है यार वो film में ना मैंने वो role देखा था. I think Mohit, he knows. So you just have to come and flow. You have to then find your resonance is the right way to put it. You need to find your connect and resonance with it. He did all the hard work, honestly. I think our work was only to make sure that his hard work doesn't go to waste.
Tara, same with you?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, he's a man who really knows what he wants when it comes to all of the characters, every little part of his story. With the way I looked and the way I decided I wanted to sound in this film, because I'm not a trained Hindustani classical singer or anything like that. I've trained in Western classical, actually, which is a completely different technique. So whether it was the music or the acting or the dialect, because we actually dubbed the film and even shot some of the scenes of the film in a slightly more North Indian dialect, and then we've kept a slightly different kind of dialect in the film, which we were just playing around with, but Mohit sir eventually knew what he wanted. So whether it was how I was holding the mic, because a lot of people don't actually know how to hold the mic when they're shooting scenes like that, or how you would sing into an old-fashioned mic as compared to a microphone that you use today, or my nose ring, or my hair in the film, or the clothes that I would wear. Everything was discussed, decided, which was exciting to be with someone who just knew exactly what he wanted to create, and he took charge of that from day one. So I didn't need to even really collaborate as much as I would have even probably wanted to, but he just had it down to the T, so it was perfect.
Well, thank you for the lovely conversation, both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, मैं हूँ अर्जुन कपूर यानी कि विलेन.
Hi, मैं हूँ तारा सुतारिया
और आप देख रहे हैं
Peeping Moon.